I love the fact that it also can happen to an 80-year-old billionaire who lives by himself, that he can become so addicted to this so quickly, tells you about the power of technology and everything that's good and bad about it. I mean, if you let it, as he says, Thoreau says, we don't own things, things own us. And that's absolutely true.
I just wanted to start off by you were approached to write and direct this film. So what was it about Stephen King's novella that really made you want to get involved with the project?
There were several things. There's a lot of themes, I think, in the novella, which was 80-something pages. And the fact that I thought it was a difficult adaptation and would be a challenge, and also the fact that Stephen King wrote it would be a challenge, because I knew that I would have to activate certain things and build up things to make it a full-length movie. But it was more than anything the challenge of trying to adapt it, I think. But I was drawn to the themes immediately, the kind of paranormal coming of age, the relationship between an 80-year-old and a 15-year-old and how they're best friends, the shadow of technology and everything that's good and bad about that, as it influences our lives, even in small towns in Maine.
Yeah, you touched on this a little, but since this was a short story, but a full-length movie, how much did you really have to expand on this?
There are a couple of scenes that aren't in the novella that I just made up and wrote, but I think they're completely in keeping with what Stephen was saying and trying to say and all that. It was just like, hopefully they feel completely a part of what was in his head. But the biggest thing you have to do is you have to activate. Because it's told from the standpoint of a narrator looking back at his life over a while, and he might describe something that happened and just say, this happened to this person and I heard about it. And so you might want to look at that and go, is there a way to activate this, to have Craig actually get on his bike and go to the trailer park to try to find Dusty Bilodeau? So you're expanding it and activating it in a way, because it's not just, it works beautifully on the page, in the novella, but just a way to activate it for a movie. So it's leaning into those opportunities to take what he's written and activate it.
Did you get a chance to work with Stephen at all? Or was he involved in the process of the film?
Very involved. He wanted to stay out of the way and let me do my thing, but he let me know that he was there for me. And so I started taking advantage of that. When I was in prep, when I finished the script, we sent it off to Stephen, and it's like, oh, I hope he likes it, because he can just give us a thumbs down and we're done. But he loved the script. And so from that point on, we had, an email and phone relationship that was really, really helpful and great. We would be looking at locations and I could send him something and I go, which one of these two looks like Howie's Market? Because you made up the name Howie's Market and you had something in your mind's eye when you wrote it. Which one of these? And he would say, I think the one on the left with the red. I think that feels more like what I was thinking. Okay, great. We got Stephen's approval on this location.
Awesome. Yeah. And there's also, there is a supernatural element to this film, but it's subtle, but also not subtle. Was that something you wanted to kind of leave up to interpretation of, what is really going on?
You mean in terms of the technology?
In terms of the technology, yeah.
Yeah. Well, I didn't want to be too heavy-handed. You didn't want to be like the old guy, get off my lawn, all you kids looking at your phones. And I thought it was really interesting that, because that's a standard thing. You'd look and go, oh, those kids today, they're all looking at their phones. Nobody's interacting with the world. I love the fact that it also can happen to an 80-year-old billionaire who lives by himself, that he can become so addicted to this so quickly, tells you about the power of technology and everything that's good and bad about it. If you let it, as he says, Thoreau says, we don't own things, things own us. And that's absolutely true.
I am going to have to wrap, but thanks so much for chatting with me. I really enjoyed this film.
Oh, thanks so much.
Hey, thanks. Have a good one.
You too. Bye.